Yo, what is going on, guys? I wanted to do an updated video on the M939 out of Ranger's Workshop. I'm super excited about this. As you can tell, it is quite a beautiful truck. And for those of you that don't know, this is made by DCB or Deathcore Boy, and it comes with a lot of really good options. When I say options, I mean there isn't a lot of options, so I gotta be careful on my wording here. But this truck does come out of the gate with almost everything you would ever need. So you know what to do, guys. Make sure you drop a like on the video and a sub on the channel so we can jump into it. As the release for the M939 approaches, I thought it would be suitable to do another video and see if there's been any changes at all. I really think it's going to be dropped probably this week, so let's check it out. Alright, so for the engine, we have the Cummins NHC 250 14 liter and the Cummins 6 CTA 8.3 liter turbocharge. Obviously, that's the one we're going to go with. For gearbox, we have a high range and an Allison 5-speed off-road automatic, so we're going to keep the 5-speed off-road automatic, of course. We have heavy-duty suspension, stock suspension, and rock trailing. The heavy-duty says beam axles on leaf springs, rigorously tuned to provide the best off-road performance while empty or under max load. So we're going to keep the heavy-duty on. And we have 6 different tire options, which something I'm really excited about. It's a 55 Michelin Super Single studded. And you can get the non-studded version in the off-road tire, or the all-terrain tire. But the tire models are nice. I don't know how people feel about having chains or rear chains versus all chains. But I think we're just going to go studded for testing purposes. We're going to throw on the high-power medium winch. We've got the spare wheel. We're going to throw on the gaugeable diff lock. We've got the snorkel. Now, we could have a flatbed, a maintainer, or a sideboarded flatbed. So I think what we're going to keep is the sideboarded flatbed. Standard exhaust, standard bumper, default rims, Dakar rims, or military grade rims. We're going to throw on the military grade rims. And I absolutely love these paint schemes. This one in particular is just really, really clean. Pretty enjoyable. So we're going to take that, and yeah, we're going to pull it out. So first thing I want to say is this is a military truck, as you can tell by the interior. And the paint job is just absolutely beautiful. The other thing I want to say, I'm going to fast forward it here to the afternoon, early afternoon, is how brilliant this is. Like, we have these studded tires, which are also good for mud, but, you know, they're studded. We have the heavy-duty suspension and the sideboard box, which we can put cargo in, and we're going to carry this trailer. So what I want to show is how functional this truck is as a work truck, but it's also good off-road. So we're going to load it up completely with cargo, and we're going to take it through the torture test. For those of you that are going to ask, is this coming to console? I don't know how much you know about console mods versus PC mods and what makes it to console and how that's decided, but it's the SnowRunner developers that actually decide that under certain criteria that the mod needs to make in testing. This truck should meet all the criteria, as stated by the guys in Ranger's Workshop, or at least I hope they do. And if it can go in console, they would love to see it in console, and that's my understanding. Obviously, they don't have a say or really any control in it, but the decision is really made by the SnowRunner developers. So, and I don't even have this in all-wheel drive, and this is just performing awesome. The sounds are just incredible. When this makes it to console, guys, this is a mod you have to make sure you have in your fleet. And I know it's a pretty big statement with all the mods that are out there, but this has to be up there in your list. It just brings so much functionality between this trailer, the sideboard bed, and keep in mind you could also haul a fuel trailer, you could haul a service trailer, a maintenance trailer, you can haul whatever trailer you want to haul. These studded tires just do amazing on the road, which brings a balance that I think personally I don't see in a lot of mods. So let's load up the bed, and now we got to load up the trailer. Let's load up the trailer. Yeah, and that's all we really had to do, guys. That is it. As you can see, this activate ramp button doesn't do anything. When the official update comes out and the release is here, I imagine that'll probably be removed unless there's some functionality they plan on doing that they haven't released yet. Which, you know, wouldn't surprise me. You can't rule anything out, that's for sure. But I am just, yeah, I am amazed by this truck. Big shout out to the guys at Rangers Workshop for letting me check this out a little early. This has been probably one of my main trucks in my fleet, and with this truck I've actually done pretty much all my campaign in it, so this has been very useful and tested pretty intensely. I'm actually going to throw it in, you know what, we're going to keep it in high and take it off all-wheel drive. I want to see how it does without the all-wheel drive in high, going through this deep snow, carrying a fully loaded cargo and trailer, and it made it through. Now, I'm going to be honest, that doesn't exactly surprise me, and we do have fully working mirrors. The sounds on this are just incredible, guys. So obviously we're coming into the mud. You know, rear wheel drive is just not going to cut it. So we're going to throw on the all-wheel drive, and we're also going to do one more, pop it in a low and put on the diff lock. We'll put in a low plus until we hit this mud pit, but I really want to see how this does, again, with full cargo in the torture test. I am extremely excited for this. As you can tell, between the suspension and the size of these tires, it has a perfect ground clearance and height, really, for off-roading and pushing through this kind of stuff. I'm going to pop it in a low minus now, just because it was starting to dig a tiny bit. And that's the last thing we want, of course. Now that we're not digging anymore, we can put a little more oomph in it. And it's just, I don't want to say it's cruising through it. This is almost very realistic for what you would hope for or expect, you know, out of a military truck of this size and shape and form. This is what you would hope out of this, in my opinion. And the more you kind of play around with this truck, the more brilliant you see it is. And that's not even considering what this truck has made it through. That's just looking at the core gameplay functionality, the sounds, how it responds to different situations, and just overall functionality, which is just absolutely brilliant. As you can tell, it's pulling through this with a fully loaded trailer, and that is pretty impressive, I gotta say. Pop it in a low minus here and just make sure we can make it through this little hurdle that we're getting hit with. We'll pop it back in a low, and of course we're doing perfectly fine, guys. I don't know too many trucks, even mod trucks really, that could carry load in their cargo bed and take a loaded trailer through this torture test without substantial struggle. We'll pop it in automatic and see how we do. It still drives good in automatic, and that is crazy to think. Let's clear those waypoints, but that is crazy to think that it can still go through in automatic no problem. We'll pop it in automatic. Pop it in a high now. No, it's going to stall out. It just didn't get enough speed. And as you can tell with the suspension, you know, it has a realistic sense of play to it. The suspension isn't trying to do more than it should, and it's not trying to do less than it can. It has a really good balance in between. The suspension, if anything, is just kind of fun for a work truck. And having the sideboard bed prevents, you know, most of the risk anyways of cargo tipping. Obviously, at this stage, I'm probably going a little bit faster than I should, given the grooves and the road and the grooves in the snow and the mud. We're going to take this all the way down to the service lane and drop off this trailer. And guys, I really expect this release coming soon. I'd be surprised if it isn't here this week, and as soon as it is, the link is going to be updated in the description. Do me a huge favor though, and drop a like on the video, and don't forget to sub to the channel, but more importantly, comment below and let me know what you plan on doing with this truck. I'm very curious, because I know that everyone's vision of what they should or could do with a truck really varies. And even here, look, we're not even tipping over or anything. It is just trailing through this perfectly fine. Obviously the trailer pulled down a little bit. That's to be expected, and there's nothing you could do about that. That is just SnowRunner doing SnowRunner things. It's the way this trail was made, and that's the way that it's going to be for the most part. But it is very, very impressive how stable this truck is. And even at its height, it's not too high for the trailer, it's not too low. It's kind of right where it should be, it needs to be, and oh man, we almost flipped it there. That was a little close. I think one of the things I like the most about it is with these studded tires, you have a lot of functionality on the road and off the road. It's a work truck, but it's capable when you hit the mud. I think that's what really, really counts. You do notice it here, for example, the rear axle spinning a lot more than the middle axle, but it doesn't have the diff lock on, so you're going to kind of get that. But these studded tires provide excellent traction on this icy road. And so I think this truck, without the studded tires and just the off-road or the mud version, for example, I think would do absolutely awesome in Russia or even Yukon. I can't see a map that I wouldn't be happy to take these tires and this truck with me to. I meant to shift and I didn't. That is my own fault. Alright, let's detach that trailer. And let's get this truck parked. Get a job for it. Possibly tomorrow, we'll see. But at least we got it loaded if we need it. We'll drop this cargo off somewhere as well. But as always, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to drop a like and sub on the channel. And comment below and let me know what you're going to use this truck for when it comes out. And if you're a console player, let me know if you're excited to see this on console as well.